everyone. This is a Solid Waste Commission meeting. My name is Kathy Samard, and I am the chairperson this go-around. And we'd like to start the meeting, first of all, by letting everybody on the committee know, or the commission know, that Bree and both John Burt, Bree Elson and John Burt will not be attending tonight's meeting. They are excused. And I guess what we'd like to do is go around the table and introduce ourselves.
David Pierce, Selectman's Representative.
Carl Quorum, Public Works.
Fred Platt, Schmuck, Member at Large.
And I already introduced myself. Go ahead.
Dave Packard, member.
Okay. First of all, on our agenda, let's look at the minutes from January 18th and see if anybody had any questions about them or wanted to change anything.
Motion to approve.
Great. Do I have a second?
Second.
Great. Then we will approve. Motion carries. And for the January 18th, 2012.
Ask for a vote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We didn't do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a?
All those in favor.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You guys did vote.
All those opposed.
All those opposed?
That's unanimous.
Put your hand down.
That is unanimous.
Okay. It's unanimous?
Yes.
The meeting minutes from January 18th pass. Very nice. All right. Next on the agenda is the discussion of the election of a vice chairperson. And I don't know if we want to do that this evening. We do have 2 members missing. It's a...
We know who could nominate.
I know.
Is Russ still on? Russ Day?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Oh,
he's
yes,
not
that's
here
right.
as well?
Russ isn't
Yeah.
here neither.
So that's what I thought of nominating.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not here. Well, he's on, or we can always
I
do
would
John
suggest we
Burt,
just-
too.
Well, I suggest we just postpone that where we
Okay.
have significant membership
It
missing
would
this
be
evening.
critical, Kathy, if you were not planning to attend the next meeting, then you would, you should have a vice chair, but I assume you're planning to attend.
I do.
Yeah.
I am. Okay. Then we'll just table that. Okay. Also, I wanted to bring to your attention, I went online and there are some reappointment of members whose time is up. I know that there was one email that went around from John saying that he definitely wanted to renew his paperwork and his membership and be part of the commission again.
You could have done that online.
You're referring to Mr. Burt?
Yes. And there are other people that also time's up, so I just want to, let everybody know who they are, if they don't know who they are. Dave, Russell Day, Fred, and John Burt.
And I have submitted the paperwork.
Outstanding. So you're interested in continuing? David?
Oh, I've already got my paperwork in a long time ago.
Phew, okay. And John did his, and I don't know about Russell.
I guess
haven't
it's up
talked
to the
him.
selectmen, though. They could choose
Right.
to blackball all of us, and we'd have to start over.
Please.
Could you tell us how that, could you?
Wouldn't think of it.
And it says we also have 4 vacancies, so if there's anyone in the audience that's interested in being on the Solid Waste Commission, we have openings, and by all means, if you want to volunteer and, do something wonderful for the town, I would encourage you to definitely, without a question of a doubt, sign up.
Good pitch.
Thank you. Do you have anything to add to that? Or does anybody have anything to add to that as far as reappointment of members or asking people to join or? No? Okay. All right. Let's move on to the current recyclables revenues and trash disposal cost. Carl, do you have anything to talk about that? I know that our last meeting we discussed that briefly.
Yeah. We did, I guess, good news. Since our last meeting, I believe our revenue for the single stream went up another $5 a ton, so we're back to getting paid. I don't know if it's up to 10 or 15, but it kind of goes up in $5 increments, and we did just get a letter that went up again, which is good.
Awesome.
As far as cost, our contract
So you
renewal.
said $15 a ton now?
Well, I can't remember if it's
I mean,
up to
close,
10, it's
approximately.
10 or 15 a ton now that we're being paid.
That's net of all costs?
No,
That's what
that's
we're
what
paid.
they pay us.
Okay, we still haul it, so all
Yeah.
our costs are what they
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
I just want to make sure the people in the audience understand.
Yeah, and, you know, our costs work out to, they average out to about 10 or 11 bucks a ton.
Okay, so we're at least break even, making a little money.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. As far as trash, our contract renewal date is like the second week in April. So we have there is a CPI increase. I haven't confirmed with Casella yet what that is, but it's, I'm sure it'll be a couple percent that will go up. And that, we usually see that on the bill we get in May. And it's the contract is based on the Boston index or whatever it is, one of those indexes. So, we anticipated that in the budget, so it should be fine.
What
And
is that current cost?
It's like
Approximately.
63 bucks a ton, thereabouts.
Therefore, if it's costing us $63 a ton for trash, and it's about break even for recycles, townspeople, please recycle.
Well, and that that $63 is also like the gross cost.
On top of our
that,
cost.
So it's really like
Yeah.
74 bucks a ton.
So 74 bucks
Yeah.
versus essentially
Wow.
zero.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Is that, compared to other communities, is that
Yeah, we,
costly or much less, or?
what was it, Londonderry, town of Londonderry, I think, or Merrimack? One of the two did a study of a bunch of communities in New Hampshire. We were one of the communities that they included, and they assessed kind of overall community cost to deal with solid waste, and we fared very well. We were,
Yours truly did a study as a result of a request by the selectmen looking at our costs versus contracts that a couple of, that the Londonderry had signed and some costs that the Concord Co-op had assessed for various communities. And because we're doing it ourselves, we're half the cost of surrounding communities.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
And if we had contracted it privately, it would be twice the cost.
I forget, but I know one of the ones that was cheaper than us was the town of Jackson.
How the heck?
They probably have a transfer station, and everybody brings it to them, and they don't collect it curbside, I'm sure.
Wow.
They were cheaper than us.
But
I
they
think
just sit there.
if you did the big picture cost of all the cars driving to the transfer station every week, it probably wouldn't work out cheaper, but
Wow.
we fared very well in that.
Okay. David, how about as far as pay-as-you-throw, as far as a
I'm gonna
selectman's
throw you under the bus.
direction? I'm sorry, I'm not throwing you under the bus.
We did get this direction from the selectmen to try
We
to.
did.
Yes.
The
Thanks, Carl.
the direction from the previous board
Oh, well, I know there's a new one coming in, so.
was to search out community interests through briefings to local groups, and feel what the reaction is, and then promote that back to the selectmen as to what direction you'd like to pursue.
Okay,
May I, Kathy?
yes, most definitely.
Did you make a presentation of the Rotary yet?
Tuesday.
What, this coming Tuesday?
This coming
Oh, so
Tuesday.
we have no reaction from it?
Yeah, I was on like a few weeks ago, but I got bumped for some other, and they said, do you mind going a couple weeks later? So it's next Tuesday.
And Selectman Pierce will be presenting to the Goffstown Lions on April 3rd,
The Lions. Great.
which I would do it, but I'm running the meeting.
Oh, I think that's a good excuse. Do you need any?
He doesn't want to, take over the microphone for the whole hour. Wants to share the spotlight.
Yeah, I'm so shy, I have trouble.
That's very amiable of you.
So, just to review, since I'm up next Tuesday, we developed this handout, right? We're all good with it, I assume. And this is the little handout that boils it down to the various costs that one could expect if their average property was 175 or 200,000 or 225.
Everybody would save if they, I think, went to a smaller
Right.
trash
right.
size.
Right, right. And then we have the PowerPoint that Fred put together, which I
Oh, yeah.
think this is the most current, I'll just hand it to you, Fred, make sure that's the most current one. Because that's, I'm gonna plan to just bring those with me. And we should have a good spirited,
Are you gonna do it in color or black and white?
I will do it in color. Yeah,
It's more appealing, I think. when it's-
yeah, just for our purposes tonight, I just grayscaled it, but I'll,
Is there a color theme to solid waste? Have we adopted a color?
It would have to be green, wouldn't it?
Green for the recyclables and red for the trash.
No, the recyclables are blue.
Oh, blue, you're right. I meant money coming in.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I gotcha.
That is the most recent.
Yeah, this is the way the color one looks for today. It's blue.
And
It is
to confirm my
gorgeous.
point,
Nice tree, nice try.
if you have a 35-gallon trash, you save money.
yeah.
It's great.
So, we'll see how that goes. Rotary is, especially when I'm there talking, is usually painfully candid.
Nice.
Is that only because of the presenter?
Yeah, well, yes. Yes. It'll be a good discussion, I'm sure.
Be prepared for one question I got from a constituent. Why would we have to pay for something that's now free?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
Yes,
that
it
too.
is. Not free.
It's not free, it's in our tax,
That's-
it's our
that's part
taxes,
of
you're
this-
paying for it.
That's part of this package, how much they're paying for it, but it's hidden in the overall property taxes.
And my answer was, like oil or gasoline or electricity, it's a commodity, and you ought to pay a commodity price for it. It's right now buried in your taxes. It would come out of the taxes, and if all other things equal, your taxes would come down. You pay separately for this. But if you have, if you're diligent on your trash, cut the trash and save, do more recycling, you'll save money in that. And those who don't care will pay more perhaps, but that's their choice. And large families may pay more, but for the convenience of not having to bring it to the recycle center and the DPW, that they save on gas. And so you have to look at the total picture. We didn't count the gas.
I know,
And wear and tear
I'm
on vehicles.
briefing the Gulf Sound Lions, and I suspect they're about 80 to 90% residents.
Well, I thought you were going to say 80 or 90 years old.
I don't know about the Rotary. You must probably have a few out.
Yeah,
We have a
there's
few.
a few from where, but most of them are Goffstown residents.
Would it be possible for both of you, when you're done your presentations, just to send everybody on the committee, notes as to how it went and how you thought it went? Because that would be good for, a discussion for our next meeting, I'm
I'll
sure.
ask for blood donations back. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, great. I can't do that, but okay. I'll find someone that can. Okay.
Does anybody else think we ought to do anything else besides what we're doing, which is to present to various community groups? Should we be presenting to the budget committee to say we're going to do this?
Personally, I think we should reach out to the other civic groups in town as well before we go to the budget. And what I would recommend is we do the feeler test on civic groups.
I agree.
And then we go back and visit with the Board of Selectmen and report how that went. And if the selectmen, with 2 new members on that board, have the wherewithal that they want to really look into it, then we'd schedule a time and go to the budget committee.
Before we go to the budget committee, I would suggest a visit to the Goffstown News
Yep.
and to the electronic publications in town. There's 2 of them. So we had, or 3, if you include the Goffstown Residents Association, to try to head off some negatives if possible, so they fully understand and don't knee-jerk.
Well, I will say, in regard to the budget committee, having been on the budget committee, a few years ago, and my concentration was to work with Carl and to, talk to him about DPW, and I did do a short presentation on pay-as-you-throw, and you're right, it did not go very well, and I think that might still be some of the thought process. So I think that if we do our homework and get other people hopefully excited about the program, I think that, because I just think more excitement, more people will, jump on and a lot of people don't understand it. I mean, I tried, remember, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, how many times have we already talked about this?
Yeah.
They
Fred.
crashed the idea then, huh?
Fred,
Yeah, pretty much. I was
Would
like,
you-
Kathy, sit down.
would you forward to me the email address for the Bernardville Lions Club so I could offer my briefing to them?
I would be pleased to forward to you that, but there's not a Penadville Lions email address, as the president's and secretary's email address.
Well, whatever you wish to forward.
Okay.
The other step that we may want to consider is if after we go to the selectmen, if they decide they want to continue to pursue it, that we work with the folks at GTV and do a little studio show that could be running a loop on GTV as well.
That's great.
How photogenic are you?
Depends on the day.
Good idea.
How long is the presentation approximately?
Seconds.
Yeah, well, you got 8 slides, so it's probably realistically with questions, you're talking 15 to 20 minutes minimum, depending on how feisty the questions get.
Yeah, I don't know. The reason I asked was I don't know whether the selectmen would want to do that at the meeting where we have all the board chairmen,
All boards.
present, the all boards meeting, whether that might be a good venue for that, even though it would take a bit of time. You hit all the significant people in town that are serving on various boards as well, to help get the news out. And Dave, I know it's one of those damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the selectmen might want to have their briefing first.
And I don't disagree with that. I'm just thinking that it would be like another venue in addition to that. It would not be in place of going to the selectmen separately.
Well, there are also other TV shows on, John Burt has a TV show. I'm not sure what the topics of it are.
I'm sure he would love to host pay-as-you-throw on his show.
Well, you never know. Okay.
If he's the moderator and not taking a side, I mean, he probably would.
Right, he's pretty good on TV.
Yeah.
And so's Ivan Bellevue. He's got his own little show, too.
Really? Are they both
Yes.
on GTV?
They are.
If I were in town enough, I'd watch it.
Yeah, I watch it late at night. But, okay, Carl, how about giving us a co-op update?
Well, I just got an email from Jim, and I thought I had printed it, but I think it's still sitting on a printer in front of Kathy's
Please
desk.
explain to the audience.
Just to back up what the co-op is, a couple of years ago, the town, at town meeting, authorized the selectmen to enter into a multi-year contract with 30-something other towns, known as the Concord Co-op Group, to build a not-for-profit recycling sort facility, a zero sort facility, similar to the one that we currently bring our single-stream recyclables to down in Charlestown, Mass. The co-op group has been working through and jumping over the various hurdles that, approvals from the Concord Planning Board and all of those things. So the latest, greatest update is, and by the way, I think last month our update was that they hoped to have the doors open either late fall or over the winter. They hope to be ready to go with us. The update as of today was that they have secured and signed all of the agreements, or not signed, they have secured the financing agreements. And if you're not familiar with the overall agreement, the facility is going to cost about $8 million, and the co-op had like $7 million in cash reserves that they were gonna put towards the project, but they had $1 million worth of bonding and borrowing they were gonna do to make the project happen. They've negotiated that. They've finalized an agreement with a lending institution, and that document or that agreement is going to be presented to the Concord Co-op Board at their meeting on April 16th. Their construction contracts and all their site approvals and all their materials contracts, everything to get that facility going are already done, awarded, accepted. So literally, if the board moves on April 16th on this financing package, they're prepared to break ground April 17th and begin construction, actual hard construction of the facility.
Goffstown have a piece of that million, the cost of the payments on the million?
Yes, indirectly. The way it works, all of the member communities of the co-op receive revenue, or cost. And the formula by which the distribution of revenue or payment is derived is, all of the hard cost, the loan payments, and even the $7 million in cash reserves that the co-op has, that has to be paid back also, under certain terms. So, you've got the facility operating costs, you have the financing.
There's no bonding
Costs.
for us, but we will pay a proportionate share.
Our revenues
Per
will
ton.
be based on the net of paying back those obligations and operating the facility.
Didn't we already put some money towards it at some point? No, we have not.
Well,
just
we
signed up, I
we
thought.
did in service in kind, because
Okay,
Chairman Packard at the time spent ungodly amounts of time and energy and effort negotiating that RFAM contract to the benefit of all communities in the co-op that joined. He was definitely the most thorough reviewer of that document.
thank you, we appreciate it.
Unfortunately, I feel at some point in time, I will come to pay the price for being involved in it in the first place.
I remember when we met with their attorneys, they couldn't get over how detailed our review was. None of the other towns had any of these problems.
Uh-oh.
So,
But a lot of them got adopted because they were legitimate concerns.
Oh, yes, yeah. Almost all of them got adopted. I
Yeah.
mean, they were all very
Even if
good.
they came from David, they were still legitimate.
fortunately, their attorney agreed that, that should be a change. Oh, that doesn't belong in there,
Yeah.
and down the line. So, say it again, April 19th is when the
I
co-op
believe he
board
said
should-
April 16th is the co-op meeting, which
Board
is
meeting.
like a Monday. Yeah, the board meeting. So sometime around mid-April, hopefully ground will be broken and we'll be under construction.
We will be on the board for the recycle part of it.
Well, the RFAM board has not yet been determined. I
Okay.
assume that will happen, assuming this vote, is positive. I certainly expect that we'll be represented on that board.
The towns have representation one way or another anyway. You have voting based on, as I recall, I think it was proportional voting,
Yes,
based on how
that's
much your
what I thought,
tonnage
too.
is.
They had an opening on the trash side, which we couldn't take advantage of when Hopkinton dropped out.
Right.
Have they filled it, or they still have an opening that maybe when our contracts eventually come due, we could join on the trash side? as well?
I don't know the status of that.
Huh.
I'll have to inquire, I don't know. And we've still got, I want to say 3 or 4 more years on our contract, so it's not like it's pending real soon.
Can't negotiate that. Right.
I'm
How-
honestly not sure it'd be in our best interest.
Okay.
I haven't looked at what the co-op communities are paying, but I don't think it's a lot less than we are.
Long run, they've been pretty good deal.
Oh, long run, yeah. Back in the day,
Yeah.
that was the place to be.
Carl, since you're speaking, how about the tour that we had talked about, that we tried to schedule? Where are we at that? Do you want
Well-
to bring it up again, or?
Well, I bring it up strictly to offer if you folks are aware, the Saturday thing really doesn't work for them. If we were a much larger group, they might consider a Saturday, but to bring somebody in on a weekend just for a couple people, that didn't sound like something they'd really like to do. Driving into Boston for a tour, that's up to you guys, if you're really interested in it.
It's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a brutal ride,
I do it every day.
just the time of day.
The cab of the truck going down there?
Yeah, well, yeah, if somebody wants to hop in with Terry, you certainly could. He leaves bright and early. Actually, that might be the way to see it, but Terry's not there very long. And, you know, I've done the tour, I've been down there and I've done the tour, and honestly, right on their website, they have a video of the whole process, and you see it so much better online, because when you're in there with 10 or 15 people, you're all on these little catwalks and stuff, and, you know, you're kind of peeking over everybody's shoulder to see what's going on in front of you, and you know, when I watched that video, I actually felt like, geez, I can act. What you don't see get on the video is how big everything is. You know, you kind of lose that, oh my goodness, this is a huge facility.
Those
But
walks
as
aren't
far
very
as the
wide 'cause
process,
walks aren't very wide, they just fit a cat.
yes, that's correct. So, if you want to do the tour, I can certainly set up another one, but I did feel it was kind of like herding cats.
I move, cats, I move that we abandon the effort, that we'll just rely on the video.
When the
For-
co-op opens.
For a
we'll do
donation, you
tour.
can still ride with Terry, though.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Pay for the gas.
Actually, I have one,
Pay for the
I
gas?
have one odd ticket, bus ticket, so if I rode down with Terry, then I could use my odd bus ticket on the way home.
There you go,
Uh,
there you go.
There you go. Nice.
What time's he go?
Well, I think he leaves for Boston around 4:30.
In the morning?
Yeah, he likes to be sitting there when the gates open, so that he's out of there before the traffic
I'll
stops.
pass that.
I know mornings come too quick some days. Mr. Pierce, was there anything from voting that we should be concerned about or discuss, or anything you want to add from the past voting that might have happened? I don't.
Well, the residents gave the town a default budget. And Monday of this week, last night, we selected those line items, which won't get done this year. There were 6 particular line items, and none are in the solid waste arena.
Okay.
So, from your perspective, business as usual.
Great.
As a matter of fact,
No, it just, this, in the CIP is still the
the
purchase.
trash truck
Purchase
is
of a
huge, yeah.
new trash truck.
Okay.
That survived, huh?
Yeah, we managed
Well,
to
it
find
survived
other
the selectmen's
things.
cut.
Ah,
Yeah, we
Well,
managed to.
because it's already
Te- te-
delayed.
Yeah, technically, the CIP did not have in a default, strictly speaking, in a default arena, the CIP wasn't fully funded per the budget. And so, in theory,
Stuff had to be cut. but
all
depends
12
what-
items that were on the CIP were up for grabs and reshuffling, and the solid waste trash truck survived that,
Yeah.
that theoretical reshuffling.
That's awesome.
They're gonna ride on a bumpy road or two for another year.
Yeah, no more breaks.
This was a necessary expenditure. We would like to replace those trucks every 4 years. The schedule was last year, and that failed
Actually, 2 years ago.
Yes,
2 years.
that failed a special article, and this year it was within the CIP.
Okay. Anything that anybody wants to talk? New, old?
The one thing I mentioned earlier, which I'll just forward to everybody, because you really kind of need to take a look, but our electronics recycling, which of course is fee-based now. People pay for it when they bring stuff to us. The contract, we market that stuff through the Northeast Resource Recovery Association,
Okay.
as we do with a lot of other commodities, and they recently renegotiated their electronics contract, And one of the new features of their electronics contract is a pay. It used to be we paid just per unit. Now there's also going to be a delivery or a transportation cost. So every time the truck comes to your facility, there's a cost. So they've sent us some information, and they're suggesting that we look at just revising how we operate our program to save the number of trips they have to make to our facility. So, one of the options is we just
They'll
store it
pick up
longer.
A wide variety when they do visit. It's just not electronics.
No, they come, the truck that comes is specifically the electronic stuff. But, normally we kind of just jump on this milk run because we want to get the stuff out of our facility. We only have so much room to work with. And we don't fill the truck. They sent us all the data. So one suggestion is we just try to hang on to our stuff a little longer so that when they come, it's a full truck. The other one is like a milk run.
Carl, for the audience, they might not understand what that means. Can you tell them what is considered an electronic product?
Yeah, all electronics, we have to sort out old TVs or computer monitors or radio component, anything with like silicone chips or silicone. Sorry, sorry, Fred. But any of those things that contain materials that need to be handled differently.
That's because there's not only silicon, but there's cadmium and there's lead and there's all sorts of stuff that could be an environmental hazard. And to do it properly, they're separated. So all of that stuff gets reused constructively instead of winding up poisoning people.
Right. And we've had an electronics recycling program for years. It's just this change in the contract between NRRA and the vendor will add costs to what we have been experiencing. So they're making suggestions. They're being proactive with, hey, we're looking at your data and here's some changes you can consider making that would help.
Could we use a corner
Defer
of
some
another
of that.
building to save more of it so it's a full load?
Well, I just need to sit down and, part of my problem is the staff person that normally manages the transfer station has been out on disability for a couple of months.
Oh, geez.
So we got, someone else filling in who's not as familiar with the details of these kind of things. So I need to go down and sit down with the actual staff down there and kind of talk through the options and see what would work best. And I just got this the other day, so I haven't had a chance to do that yet.
Do you think, and also that I know that we've talked before about the schools and how they bring their goodies to us. Is there a way that maybe we could work better with them so that we can say, hey, on April 15th, how about delivering hold your monitors at the school, and that way we could have a fuller truck?
It's possible. As a matter of fact, I just got a call, it was interesting, just today from a teacher at Maple Ave, and she announced that she was a member of some kind of recycling committee that was trying to get going, and they were trying to find ways to recycle. So she had a bunch of questions, and I haven't had a chance to call her back and chat with her. But for instance, the paper towels in the restroom, that they all, after they dry their hands, are those recyclable? Those kind of things.
Absolutely.
If she's a resident, mention that we have vacancy on this committee.
There you go.
Good job, right?
And I'll also tell you, just to give kind of Superintendent kudos, Superintendent Buckley, but she invited Mike and I a couple of months ago to one of her staff meetings where all the principals were in the room. And that was pretty interesting too. We went and talked about recycling and how they could look at things. And in response to that meeting, we started looking at what our costs are, and I plan to communicate with Stacy as far as what the impacts of all that is, and try to come up with ways to
That's great.
coordinate better.
Do we need to change our fee structure as a result of this delivery pickup cost? What wasn't included?
Well, I need to look at that. I need to make sure that everything's still covered.
I'm going to make a brazen suggestion to relieve your maybe temporary shortage of space. the Lions Sight and Hearing at the high school on April 28th. We'll have an electronics recycling, and people could bring their electronics to that event at the same or lower cost as what would be at the DPW, and help people raise money for hearing aids and cataract surgeries for poor people. So that was my brazen
What day is that
advertisement.
again?
April 28th.
April 28th, and what kind of items do you want?
From 10 to 2.
From 10 to 2, and exactly where?
TVs and radios and all the electronics, stereos.
You said the high school?
Yes, the high school,
High school. The Goffstown High School.
Goffstown High School.
That's great.
You know, what I'm gonna look into, Fred, if you don't mind, is, I may add a little plug for that on the town's website.
Please. Irene Kay, I'll put her in touch with you. She is our Goffstown Lions member, who's a member of the Lions Sight and Hearing Board.
I don't know if that's something we need to run by the board. It just seems to me that's a
It's an opportunity.
cost savings measure that,
Opportunity for residents to dispose at perhaps a less cost, and the money would partially go back to sight and hearing rather than the town. Some residents
But
might.
the town is,
that.
the town is break even, so
yeah,
the
we're a
town shouldn't
break-even
care.
deal. Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's great, thank you. Anybody else have anything else to add? Other than maybe looking at our schedules and deciding when we might want to have our next meeting?
Okay, suggestion that we get back to a regular schedule. When I chaired it, in previous chairs, we did have a third Wednesday of every, first of every month, but then it was every other month. And I see you're shaking your head no, David.
The selectmen discussed that last night. Third Wednesday is overbooked.
Okay,
Okay,
but a regular schedule was my suggestion. So if you have another night,
That's acceptable.
pardon?
That's a good thing to do.
I suggest, since we don't have 3 members here, that we talk about what we're going to do. We'll plan or come up with 2 dates for our next meeting, but I'd like everybody to be here because we don't know what their thought process is and what their commitments are and all that. I think for everyone, if you know when you're coming to a meeting is always a good thing, because you can put it on your
Calendar.
and there's,
Then I suggest, Kathy, between now and our next meeting,
yep,
that you, I don't want to put a monkey on your back, but you talk with the administration and find out which night is most free from
Yep.
use of this facility, or nights.
Towards that end, I made a calendar-type handout for the selectmen last night that showed the arrangements of various committees on various first week, second week, third week. And I'll forward that
that's
to
great.
you, Kathy, so you can
Okay,
see how they lay out. And that's, tomorrow, for example, for some reason, the Budget Committee is meeting on the third Wednesday, and
yeah, that's not
that
normal.
makes 4 committees in one evening, and,
Can't do it.
Where are they going to
do it.
put them?
well, one's at the library,
Oh,
one's at the Park Building. The other 2, I think, are here.
At the same time?
They're all at the same time. And, it's the selectmen reps attending those. We're
Yeah.
spread to
Is it Wednesdays or the third Wednesday?
Third Wednesday.
Oh, so we could do a fourth Wednesday, possibly.
And that's what my handout will show, Kathy.
Okay.
okay. So
And
do
I'm
you,
obviously stressing Wednesday because my Thursdays are pretty booked.
But, Fridays are completely open.
I have to work my other job, but nice try. So do you just want to do the email thing like I did this time? What's the consensus? Do you want to make a date now for the next meeting, or do you just want to table it and I'll do the email thing? We're talking about May,
All we're
correct?
talking about is scheduling a meeting, so we're not talking substantive
Yep.
business by email.
Okay,
And so email would be fine.
okay, great. Then that's the way I'll handle it.
And I suggest that because there's a few members missing who might
Right.
like
No.
our choice.
I have gotten to where, when I'm scheduling things that are out of town, in town, we are all in Outlook, but out of town, that meetingwizard.com thing is fabulous.
Yes, I've used that before.
You just put every date and time that is available and let people just Yep, pick, and it spits right out. Here's the one that works the best. No, it's great.
Is
I use it all
everybody
the
pretty
time.
computer savvy?
I use another service that's similar, but sends out
Sounds
a
like breathing
Nixle,
meeting.
no, there's a service out there that you can plug
Those must
choices
go
in
around.
and get a
David,
Public meeting
consensus.
was it?
David, you
That's
did
what-
great.
Oh.
Well, unless someone else has anything else that I missed,
Motion to adjourn.
someone second it?
I can't vote.
I shall second if I have to.
Hands, yes?
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Yes.
David? Yes, okay. Woohoo!
Nobody
Very
opposed?
good,
Nobody
Kathy.
opposed.
Nicely done.
Did I do?